Hoping you're enjoying your dinner. And my name is Richard Cavaletto, Associate Dean for the College of Ag at Cal Poly, and been asked to make a couple remarks and then introduce our luncheon speaker this afternoon. First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming today. To see the support that you give to, in this case, to the agricultural business department as part of the College of Ag, it's greatly appreciated. As Ag Business is one of our outstanding departments within the college, and the leadership that they're showing, and these kinds of partnerships that are being demonstrated by this conference today is an important symbol that can provide leadership for the rest of the college to follow similar kinds of paths. I want to take just a couple minutes. I know many of you have Cal Poly connection. How many of you are Cal Poly grads? So we've got quite a few, about half of you. So I thought I'd just take a moment. I know Beth mentioned a couple things this morning, but just to bring you up to date a little bit what's happening at Cal Poly, if you're not aware, we have a new president. President Jeff Armstrong is now the president of Cal Poly. He came to us via Michigan State. He's an animal scientist by background, so he has a strong ag background. He grew up with FFA. Actually, his brother is the head of FFA, National FFA advisor, so he's got those strong roots and connections there. And he's been here now about 15 months, and so for the first 9 months or so, he really spent some time looking over the university, gathering input, and he's continuing to do that. But he's helped lay some foundations for some strategic planning for the university, and basing on 4 major key principles that are unmovable for the university. And for those of you that came through Cal Poly, I think you'll find these. You'll be glad to hear that we're still continuing with them. First one is student success, making sure that our students are successful at Cal Poly, that we're turning out graduates that have not only just theoretical knowledge, but also have a practical knowledge and are able to go out to industry and be valuable employees as they enter the job market. Learn by doing is a concept that we all grew up with, those of us that came through Cal Poly, and that is a continuing process, that hands-on learning, that taking the stuff that we learn, the more theoretical, the more classroom stuff, and putting it into practical applications. We strive to have excellence in all that we do, making sure that our graduates that we're turning out are up to the standards needed by industry. With that comes, we're also, our incoming students. Cal Poly has, this last year for fall 2012, had 45,000 applications. We are going to have 3,500 of those students show up in the fall, and these students have some of the best GPAs and best SAT and ACT scores anywhere in the country. So we've got the best and brightest students coming into Cal Poly, and we really look at what is that value added that we give to them as they spend their 4 or 5 years with us. And as was mentioned earlier, we're really striving to continue to have that comprehensive polytechnic university, that we maintain that polytechnic nature and flavor for the university with agriculture, engineering, architecture being those core technologies, and then adding with the business and science and math and liberal arts to help round that out, that we really provide a graduate that has depth in their subject matter, but also has breadth in being able to interact in the world and aware of their surroundings. In the College of Ag, we have 9 departments now with 17 majors. We have approximately 3,800 students. We're about the 3rd largest undergraduate program in the country. So it's an enviable position to be in. All our programs, we have more applicants than we can take into the college. It's a challenge sometimes when we hear from alumni going, I wasn't able to get my son or daughter into Cal Poly because of that demand, and we're aware of that. Many of us on the faculty that went through Cal Poly kind of lament that ourselves. If we were applying today, we probably wouldn't get in either. So it is a challenge there. So we ask that you bear with us on that. It's just the consequence of being the quality program we have and the demand for the education that our students get from Cal Poly. As a conference on risk management here, I was just thinking about how does the university protect itself from the risk that it has. And there's a saying that's gone around in academics that as an institution, we were early in, if you think about it, in the 1960s, we were a state-funded school. About 10% of our funding came from students and their parents, and the rest, the 90%, came from the state. Today, we've gone from state-funded to state-supported, and we're on our way, if we're not careful, just to being state-located. Today, students pay 60% of the money that we receive for the university, and the state is a 40% partner in the process. And so we're making that shift, and it's a challenging one for us as a public institution of having to get our heads around that and to understand what that means for us. And we think about diversifying our income streams, then where we were so dependent upon the state, and now this shift to the students, and the kinds of partnerships like we're seeing today is one of those mechanisms in place to help mitigate the risk that we have, to develop those linkages with industry and the partners that are going to benefit from our graduates, to help have those connections that you can help us strengthen our programs, keep them strong, so that our graduates that go out and meet with you are the kinds of employees that you would like to hire. So I ask that you continue to champion those partnerships, support them when you hear about them. I encourage you, if you haven't been back to Cal Poly in a while, to come back and visit with us. The buildings and stuff, there's been a lot of change on campus in various ways, new buildings and things going up, and new science centers going in place now. So Building 52, the Spider Building, most of that was torn down, and there's it's a 5 or 6 story building going up in its place where science and math and some of those things will be going in place there. So a lot of good things happening on campus. And just to encourage you to come by. If you have questions, feel free to stop in and visit with us.